could remember where I was when this began. Another drink, I start to think the bottle is my friend. My friend. My friend. Long black limousine, won't you drive me home? I've been drinking all damn day, and now I got to go. Now if you see that limousine driving down the street, take my advice, no, don't think twice, call the state police. Oh. Well, take another drink, the next round is on me. Tequila, whiskey, beer, or gin. Well, I don't care what you think, I'm getting drunk again, and it won't be long. No, 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 it won't be long. Oh, take another drink, the next round is on me. Tequila, whiskey, beer, or gin. Well, I don't care what you think, I'm getting drunk again, and it won't be long. No, it won't be long. No, it won't be long. No, it won't be long. Take another drink, the next round is on me. Tequila, whiskey, beer, or gin. Well, I don't care what you think, I'm getting drunk again, and it won't be long. No, it won't be long. No, it won't be long. No, it won't be long. Oh, take another drink, the next round is on me. Tequila, whiskey, beer, or gin. Well, I don't care what you think, I'm getting drunk again, and it won't be long. No, 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 it won't be long.
So you just got done watching the fights. The kids are asleep. The wife's in the other room doing, well, what wives do.
Am I the only one that does a goddamn thing around here? How hard is it to pick up after yourself?
So decision time. You could either go in the other room and deal with,
After all I've done today, you expect me to wanna...
or keep it locked right here. Because it's time for the Billy C post-fight wrap-up on Fight Now TV. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Billy C.
We're coming at you from the Billy C studio in Lake George, New York. We're on Fight Now TV, and we got our post. I know the intro said post-fight show, but this is actually a post-weigh-in show. Manny Pacquiao won Manuel Marquez, the fourth fight, and I think joining us right now, he's at the weigh-in, Tony Triem. Tony, are you there?
I'm here, baby.
Oh, what's going on, man? Tell me what's.
Me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can tell that you're right at the weigh-in right now in Las Vegas. Tell us what's going on.
I'm at the weigh-in right here in Las Vegas, man. It's a madhouse.
Well, I know I have some of the weights. Did Manny? I didn't even see if Manny Pacquiao and Juan Manuel Marquez have gotten on the scales. Have they yet?
On the scales, Manny weighed 147, Marquez weighed 143, and what I found amazing was how much better Marquez weighed, looked, muscular and everything, with only a 4-pound weight difference. I don't think Manny's in shape for this fight, Billy.
You know, you and I were talking about that earlier in the week, Tony, and you said you got to see Manny Pacquiao working out, and, tell the listeners and the viewers what you said to me. You weren't too impressed.
Well, there was closed workouts this week for Marquez and both Manny, but I did get the opportunity to go in and watch Manny work out on Wednesday, and he looked awful. He was missing the pads when he was in the ring working with Freddie. He couldn't do the body shots. I mean, I don't know if he was having a bad day or not, but he was almost decked twice in a 6-round sparring session he had. I don't think Manny's up for this fight at all.
I mean, how does he act? And I know that he's been saying all the right things. He was complaining in the news. We were talking about on this morning's show that he was complaining that Juan Manuel Marquez doesn't stand in front of him and go toe-to-toe like a man. I mean, is it a conditioning issue in your opinion, or what's your thoughts?
I think it's more conditioning, Bill, than anything. I think Marquez is more serious for this fight than he's ever been. As you know, I've seen all 3 of the other fights, and they've been close ones. I think Marquez had Manny's number in the last one. They had Marquez, Pacquiao 3. Although Manny got the decision, I think Marquez clearly could have pulled it out. And I think Marquez is going to prove a point this time. He's going to knock Pacquiao out within 5.
You know, you said that the other day. I was shocked, and you still feel the same way. This fight means a lot to Manny Pacquiao, in my opinion. I think a loss here, I don't want to say it's the end of his career, but I mean...
Billy, you're going to have to repeat that. I'm in a noisy area, man.
I'm saying that I think that this fight is very important to Manny Pacquiao. He needs to perform well. This could be the end of his career, possibly.
Oh, absolutely. This is going. If he loses this fight, this will be the end of his career. This is a very important fight for him. But I don't think he can do it, Bill. I really don't think he's got it in him. From the way he looked up there on the scale versus Marquez, and only a 4-pound difference, 147, 143. Pacquiao win 147. There's no comparison to him.
Let me ask you this. How did Gamboa look? Yuriorkis Gamboa, he's making his return. He's moving up a weight class. He's with 50 Cent. Tell me about how he looked on the scales.
He weighed 130. He looks rough and tough and ready to rumble. I think he's going to do well against, I can't pronounce his opponent's last name, but his first name's Mike. They both weighed in at 130 each.
Did these guys talk or anything take place at the weigh-in that is significant enough for you to fill us in on?
They both look good. Gamboa and his opponent, Mike, again, I can't pronounce his opponent's last name.
Farianas.
But his first name's Mike. They were both very gentlemanly up there. The ones that really got frisky was Highland and Frontora. They had to separate them 3 times and finally just took them off the stage. They're going to open the HBO card tomorrow night. Highland, it weighed 126, and Fontoura also weighed 126. And they were the frisky ones of the whole night.
Now, was Snooki with Patrick Highland? We all know that she works with him.
Snooki's with Highland, yes.
Oh, did she draw some fanfare? We got people following Snooki around, or is it a boxing crowd could care less?
They didn't introduce Snooki at all, Bill, but she was on stage with the Highland.
Anything else that you think we should know about that's taking place at the weigh-in right now?
Well, the only thing else I'd like to add to you is our man Mike Tyson was there. He was the honorary official for the weigh-in, and he's doing a fundraiser for children tonight, and I wish him well.
Yeah, it's a different Mike Tyson than when he was in the ring, that's for sure.
Oh, you betcha.
Well, listen, Tony, we appreciate you reporting. I know it's crazy there right now, and you're going to be giving us a ringside report tomorrow live from the fight, right?
Yes, sir. I'll be here at the MGM Grand Garden Arena for Pacquiao Marquez 4, and I'll be giving the post-fight show with you tomorrow night.
Sounds good, my man. Thank you very much, and we'll talk to you later.
Thanks, PC.
All right,
talk
brother.
soon.
Take care. That's
Yeah.
Tony Triem, and he's right there, scale side, right now in Las Vegas. And you heard it. You know, I was talking to him earlier in the week, and he was telling me that he felt that Manny Pacquiao was not looking good in the practice, in the open workout, and all of that stuff. So I thought he was kidding. You know, in a way, not kidding, but this fight means a lot to Manny Pacquiao, in my opinion, at least for his career. Maybe it doesn't mean enough to Manny himself. I mean, he obviously is financially set in his life. He's got some other things going on with the political career and all of that. But man, for a boxing career, with especially with the fight with who looming, the possibility of that fight looming, I think that the only way he secures that fight is if he does extremely well. I think a close victory is not going to do it for Manny Pacquiao. I think that the question marks and all of the people that thought that Manny lost the previous fights, the controversy that surround all those other fights are just going to be there. And speaking about being here, Alex Papali, Blast from the Past expert, joins us. You predicted Juan Manuel Marquez on Wednesday, Alex. We just had Tony Triem give us a report from the scales, and he says Manny doesn't look too well, and he didn't look that good in the open workouts either. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I tell you, I'm very surprised to see what he looked like and what he weighed. I mean, I would have figured he'd be a little more chiseled. He weighed 147 versus Tim Bradley. We saw what happened. He seemed listless. He seemed like he only could fight about 40 seconds, 50 seconds a round. And we know, controversial or not, he came away with the loss. So, conventional wisdom is you want to change things. Doesn't look like he did. He's 147 again, which to me that's just too. The way he beats guys at welterweight is he outspeeds them and out-combinations them. He doesn't have the power that he had at featherweight. At 147, I don't know if he can do it. To me, he looks a little smooth. Marquez, on the other hand, looks absolutely chiseled. I think this is going to be a really exciting early going. The way Roach is talking, they think they're going to knock him out. Maybe Pacquiao only has a few rounds in him, and he thinks he's going to, just come out there and handle him. This could be a real exciting couple rounds, early rounds, and then Marquez takes over.
It's really starting to look like the conditioning was the issue, because the more I think of it, and some of the wording in the press conferences, with Manny saying, I want Juan Manuel Marquez to stand toe to toe and fight me like a man. It seems to me like it's an indication that he doesn't want to chase anybody around the ring. He doesn't want to use up any energy. And I'm wondering, Alex, is if finally, we've been saying this now for years with Manny Pacquiao, that he's like a rock star, and he's involved with so many things. Is it finally catching up to him, you think?
It could be. I mean, I think you talked about it this week, that at some point Juan Manuel Marquez is going to get old. He's 39. We've seen age taking a toll on him slightly as he's getting older. But he's still remarkable, still pound-for-pound quality. Manny Pacquiao seems to be getting old in a different way. Old, similar perhaps to the way Cotto was. You heard Cotto talking a lot before the Trout fight about how he's looking forward to retirement, looking forward to spending time with his family. Sometimes when a fighter talks like that, it's over. Maybe Manny has realized, I'm a congressman. I got so many things else to do. This is too much for me, being a gladiator. We've seen him seem to sort of take the foot off the accelerator. He's not the same Pac-Man that he used to be. Maybe Marquez, because he's so fueled by the controversy, despite the fact that he's the older guy chronologically, he's the one who's going to be the tiger in there. And Manny's the one that's not as interested as he used to be. This is going to be, I don't know, I'm geared up. I could watch these guys fight 3 more times. I know maybe I'm in the minority about that, But this is going to be interesting.
You've been doing too many blasts from the past, watching these guys, watching Britain fight 20 times. I think it's getting to you. I think
it's not a rivalry unless they've fought 6 or 7 times.
Yeah, yeah. I think you hit it on the head. I'm not so sure Manny Pacquiao has the hunger anymore. There's just too many things going on. It's not there. He's just not fighting with that killer instinct anymore. And like I've said all along, I think that he needed a Manny Pacquiao-like performance in this fight tomorrow night to solidify the possibility, just to even talk about a fight against who or someone else. I'm not so sure a loss tomorrow night isn't the end of Manny Pacquiao.
I think a loss definitely could be the end. But I think from what Roach is saying, I think they're counting on being bigger and stronger and being blazing quick in the early going. If from what Roach said, I saw one interview where he was giving Manny a bonus for every sparring partner he knocked down. Sometimes doesn't mean much, because there's been contradictory reports, like you're saying, from Tony Triem even, that he doesn't look good in sparring. Well, which is it? Is he knocking down his sparring partners, or is he not training as hard as usual? Sometimes if you're knocking the guys down, you're just, you might have some real power and pop in you for a few rounds, but, we're going 12 tomorrow night. Marquez, is going to be there all 12. He's not going to make the mistake he did last time where he sort of took his foot off the gas in that final round.
Yeah, no, listen, man, I'm expecting fireworks, but it just seems like Manny might run out of gas. I don't know.
I think it's a possibility. We saw that he doesn't, he likes to fight in those round-stealing bursts at the end of the round. He was doing that against Bradley. He's going to have to be more than that, bring more to each round than that against Marquez.
One last thing I wanted to ask you, the judges, it was an interesting topic. You and I might have been talking about it even earlier this week, but the judges, many people think that the judges kind of were against him a little bit in the Bradley fight because of some of the antics he pulled, waiting to come out with the basketball game and all of that kind of jazz. But then after the results and all of the publicity that surrounded that fight and the fact that Alex, you're gonna have to give me a shout back, surrounded that fight. And all the people that were outraged about the decision and all of that, I'm wondering if the judges are actually going to do the reverse here. If they're going to, if the judges are actually, I'm just wondering if the judges are going to actually do the reverse on this fight and give him the benefit of the doubt. I think you got the whole gist of the question, right?
Yeah, that's I think you kind of have to ask yourself that because they've gone back and forth on this one, kind of a little bit like they did with the Barrera-Morales trilogy, where it seemed like some of them felt they got the first one wrong, so they sort of overcompensated in the next one, and then they try to right the ship in the third one. So I don't know. I think at this point with judging in Vegas, I think the conventional wisdom's out the window.
Yeah, well, listen, man, I'm psyched for it. It sounded like Tony's. I'm just jealous that Tony's out in Vegas and we're not. I mean.
Yeah, that's got to be a great atmosphere.
Oh God, lucky Tony. But Alex,
I think they're talking about boxing's dead, Billy C. I don't know if you heard, but somehow this fight sold out. Listen,
my new article that's going to be up in the column this week. It talks about promoters, and in it, I mentioned exactly that. Whether people realize it or not, there's a lot of negativity in the sport, but actually we're in a huge resurgence. If you just stop and think about the fights that we've had this year, what's already scheduled for early next year, I think it's going pretty well. I think if we could get boxing on TV a little more, I think it'll be a home run.
Definitely. I agree with you.
Thanks a lot, brother. I appreciate you giving me your 2 cents.
Billy C., take care.
All right, brother. Take care. That's Alex Papali giving us his thoughts. And like he mentioned, we had a sellout. That's right. It was sold out. $10.5 million. It was reported that the gate received, and I just had somebody on the line that I just hung up on, so I apologize for that. You need to call back. $10.5 million in gate receipts, sold out, over 16,000 seats for this event. They're also anticipating, if it's not sold out already, all the closed circuit tickets that are available around Las Vegas for this event. And joining us right now, Dax Khan. What's up, brother? Well, I guess we lost him. He's listening to or watching it on Fight Now TV and is not hearing us. But anyway, what I was starting to say was that the closed circuit seats were close to being sold out a little while ago. So, hey, we have a poll question that's going on right now on BillyCBoxing.com, and it's been moving up and down all day long. And right now, the last time before we came on air, it was Manny Pacquiao ahead. Most of the people were picking Manny Pacquiao to win 66.7% and Juan Manuel Marquez 33.3%. Let's try this one more time. Dax, are you there? Dude, turn off your TV. All right, we can't hear Dax. He's still listen, if you want to call in, give us a shout, 845-228-8710. That's 845-228-8710 is the call-in number. We're going to be able to take a couple of calls. We're only going to be on for about another 12 minutes, so call in now. You know, I'm looking forward to this fight, but I'm actually looking forward to a couple of the undercard fights as well, especially Yuriorkis Gamboa. He is coming back. This is his first fight in about a year, and I'm looking forward to seeing him. We got Dax on the line. I think it's Dax Khan. Dax, are you there?
This is me, brother.
All right, what's going on?
Brewster from down in Brewster.
What's going on? That's lame. We got to come up with something better for you, man. You're nowhere's near Brewster anyway. That's the funny part. But what do you think, man? You heard the stuff. You heard Tony saying that Manny Pacquiao didn't look that great at the weigh-in. He didn't look that great in the open workout. I mean, what's your thoughts? Who did you pick in this fight?
I actually, in our challenge, Billy's challenge, I actually picked Marquez. But, you know, when you look at all the things, everything being so obvious and so out there, it almost comes to my mind like this looks like it might be a setup. Manny might be in the best condition he ever was. Because, you know what, why, if he was doing this bad, he wasn't in that good a shape, I think they'd hide it a little more, wouldn't they?
Listen, they're saying how he looks. You know, physically, he's not toned. He doesn't look as toned as he does. And I think that's what they're saying. Tony witnessed a workout. He says he wasn't even able to make the connection with the mitts.
And again, like I said, I don't doubt that, you know, Tony's there. I'm not there, you know, and Tony, he knows more about the sport than just about anybody we know. But again, like I say, it's just so obvious. If he was doing that bad and he really couldn't perform that well, I think, you know, Roach's team, Top Rank, and they would find something else to do in an open workout besides the mitts, because it's not like it just happened right then and there. Obviously, he's been having that problem for a while. But then again, as well, I'm thinking, I always go back to the Judah fight with Floyd Mayweather. Remember how big and everybody wanted that fight to happen with Judah, and then Judah lost to Vladimir, and all of a sudden that interest left. Manny might be thinking the worse I look, and even if he loses, you know something, this is a bank payday for him, and he can ride off into the sunset. And if he loses, look who he loses to. He loses to Juan Manuel Marquez, and if he gets the Mayweather fight, he loses to Floyd Mayweather. No shame in that. One of the greatest trilogies of all time. Actually, this would be number 4, so it's at quartet.
So again, I asked Tony and Alex. I'll ask you the same question. Should Manny Pacquiao lose tomorrow night, do you think that's the end of Manny Pacquiao?
No, I think that's the Floyd Mayweather. Like I just said, I think that's the Floyd Mayweather fight in the bank. That's why I mentioned the Judah losing the Vladimir incident.
Yeah, but you know the thing is you know, and it's no secret. I'm not a big fan of Floyd, but you know, Floyd does want a significant bout. And I think if Manny loses, that would be 2 back-to-back losses. It would be arguably, 4 terrible performances. The naysayers for Floyd would just say, he fought a shot Pacquiao. They needed to fight, they needed to fight 3 years ago. I think he gets let off the hook, Dax. I think if Manny doesn't look good, he's off the hook if Floyd's off the hook to fight Manny.
In truth, when it comes to the Floyd-Manny matchup, it doesn't matter who wins or who loses. There is no winner and there is no loser in that fight, no matter how exciting it is, because that same thing is going to be said no matter what. Even if the Manny goes in that fight with Manny, Bill, and Manny wins, it's going to be a Floyd Mayweather who's had nothing but turmoil the last couple of years. He didn't look that good in the Cotto fight, despite what happened on the scorecards. He was busted wide open. He hasn't been concentrating. Neither one of them are going to be a winner in that event. So, but you know what does win? I don't care what anybody says. You want to fight the best. You want to be known for the best. Something you'd be surprised what $50 million does to somebody. The only person in the past 25, 30, 40 years that we can actually say wanted nothing but the best and sought out nothing but the best no matter what is Oscar De La Hoya.
Yeah, Oscar, you got to say Ward, you got to say Froch. I mean, some of those guys too. But hey, Dax, we're getting ready to pack it in here. I'm going to leave the phone line open. What's your final prediction? How's the fight going to go tomorrow night?
I think Juan Manuel Marquez is going to win the fight, and I think he's not going to leave it in the judges' hands, because I think we all know if it goes in the judges' hands, and Juan Manuel is going to come up short. He's going to get robbed again. Juan Manuel is the Ken Norton to Muhammad Ali. He no matter what Manny does, he's never going to look good. Juan Manuel wants to ride out into the sunset a winner, and Juan Manuel Marquez, every time he's counted out, he comes back better than ever, even at his age. And the counter punching, that's his key to this, the counter punching. Manny's going to come in reckless. Manny's going to come in there, especially if he's out of shape like this and he's really not doing that well. He's going to want to try and get it over with early. And the longer the fight goes on, the more it favors Juan Manuel. I picked him in the challenge. I picked him on air now. Juan Manuel Marquez wins tomorrow by KO, anywhere between the 8th and the 10th.
You and Tony, my man. You and Tony predicting Manny Pacquiao's going down and out. So, hey, man, I appreciate you taking the time to join us, and I'll be looking forward to hearing from you tomorrow, my man.
Tomorrow night's a post fight. Hey, I'm excited. Everybody's excited. Let's see it.
All right, brother. Take care.
By the way, Patrick Highland, for the last time, is not my best friend. I don't hang out with Snooki. We just happen to live in the same county.
Come on, you boy! I heard you treated. I heard you treated him for coffee this morning. Who you trying to kid?
Well, all right, a little bit of coffee. He paid last time.
All right.
All
right. Take care. That's Dax Khan. You can catch his segment on Thursdays right here on the Talking Boxing with Billy C show. Hey, we got the phone lines open, 845-228-8710. We got a couple of minutes left. If you can get through, that's great. Listen, great fights on tap for us tomorrow from Las Vegas. On the pay-per-view card, we will be looking at a couple of good ones that I'm actually looking forward to. The one that Dax was just talking about, Javier Fortuna against Patrick Highland. That might turn out to be a better fight than I thought. When you look at two fighters that are, similar level-wise, regardless of the records and all that stuff, it's like if you have two older fighters fighting each other and they've both faded the same amount, it could be a good fight. This has got two young fighters, both undefeated, both with kind of easy roads to where they are today. I think Fortuna had a little tougher road, and I think Patrick Highland's in for a tough night tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to Yuriorkis Gamboa's return against Michael Farinas. Now, this is a fight that Yuriorkis Gamboa, obviously we all know that he moved up in weight, but I think that there's a lot on the line for him. People are talking about him fighting Bronner already. At first I said, oh, no, Adrian Bronner's too big. It's actually one weight class above, but I still think he's a little too big. I'm curious to see how Gamboa looks after a little over a year out of the ring. His style of fighting, we all knew that it wasn't going to last. His career wasn't going to last that long. So I'm really looking forward to that one for sure. And by the way, at first, I'll be totally honest, I thought Michael Farinas was kind of a weak, lame opponent. But then as I was doing my breakdowns and stuff on today's show, or I should truthfully tell you, as I was preparing for the breakdowns on today's show the other day, I'm saying to myself, as I'm watching video and stuff, I said, this guy is pretty tough. He's got a granite chin. He's never been down, never been out, never been knocked out. So it's going to be a good test for Gamboa. The fight that I think I'm the only one, Mercito Gesta against Miguel Vasquez, I picked Mercito Gesta. I went against this kid a couple of times already, and every time I go against him, sort of like if you listen to today's show, Marty Mulcahy was on the show. He's from Max Boxing, and he breaks down the fights with me and stuff, and he's always complaining every time Brian Valoria fights. He goes one way, and the fight goes another. And I'm the same way with Mercito Gesta. I picked him today. I'm hoping that it changes for him, because I think that this kid is better than people think. I think he's better than I thought, and he's in a tough fight, and he's definitely the underdog against Vasquez. Vasquez didn't look that great to me in his last fight. So, and then of course the main event, Manny Pacquiao against Juan Manuel Marquez. In case you missed it, Manny Pacquiao weighed 147 pounds. Juan Manuel Marquez came in at 143. Our very own Tony Triem called in earlier, right at the weigh-in. Chaos going on in there at the weigh-in in Las Vegas. He said that Manny Pacquiao at 147 did not look like he was in great shape. He also told me earlier in the week that he was able to get in and watch an open workout for Manny Pacquiao. He said Manny Pacquiao did not look good. On the other hand, Juan Manuel Marquez, he said, looked chiseled, looked like he was in very good shape. Said that he was very serious and thinks that mentally he's in a better place. Another thing I want to point out, that Juan Manuel Marquez left most of his camp closed to media all week, was very close-minded, and the opposite is said about Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao is the rock star guy. I personally think that this fight, Juan Manuel Marquez has nothing to lose in this fight. I think Manny Pacquiao has a lot to lose. He said he wanted to fight for one more year. We all know that he's got the political career going on and all of that stuff. I think this is an important fight. How do I see it going? I think that the fight's going to end in a knockout as well. I agree with Tony, and I also agree with Dax Khan, that the fight's going to end in a knockout. But I think Manny's going to win. I think Manny's going to knock out Juan Manuel Marquez. He's never been stopped before. I think that if Manny can drop him and put him on the canvas, they may give him a TKO quickly. They may wave it off kind of quick. I know that that's what Bob Arum and Top Rank would like, but you never know. Do we see a fifth fight? Somebody sent me an email. If it's a close fight, if it's a blowout, if it's this, if it's that, do we see a fifth one? Who knows? I still believe that this fight wouldn't have expired. The shelf life on this fight wouldn't have expired. I think this would have been a great farewell fight for both of their careers. And I was looking forward to seeing them fight each other in Mexico and call it a day. But I guess that's not going to happen. Speaking about calling it a day, listen, it was great right here on Fight Now. We did a quick post weigh-in show on Fight Now TV. Make sure you tune in tomorrow immediately following the conclusion of Manny Pacquiao and Juan Manuel Marquez right here on Fight Now. We're going to do a post-fight show. We're going to be on for at least an hour on Fight Now and then some. So we'll have the phone lines open. Make sure you come on into the chat room, talk to the other people, get your points across. We'll have it all live right here on Fight Now tomorrow. Enjoy the fights, everybody. Juan Manuel Marquez, Manny Pacquiao, the fourth time. It's going to be a good one. Got to go. Thanks for joining us. Fight Now TV. Like I always say, ciao, baby.